In this video, we're gonna talk about how new AI tools and breakthroughs are giving you more control over your images than ever before. Wow. I'm gonna show you what ControlNet is and how you can use it to make a beautiful QR code like this. I'll also show you how to take a logo and reimagine it with any design that you want while still leaving the important parts of the logo intact. Then, we're gonna do the results from a head-to-head comparison between the three major text-to-image models: Midjourney, Adobe Firefly, and Stable Diffusion. Plus, we're gonna talk about some new image breakthroughs that came out of three of the big tech companies, Google, Meta, and Adobe. First off, let's answer, what is Stable Diffusion, what is ControlNet? So Stable Diffusion is one of the three major AI models that lets you type with text what you wanna see, and it diffuses into an image. It's also the only major model open sourced for anybody to use for free. That's why when this paper came out, adding conditional controls to text-to-image diffusion models. So, building on top of this knowledge, the open source dev community built something called ControlNet. And it's used in a couple ways. The first is to adjust expressions on characters, and the second is for character consistency. So putting the same character in different environments, different lighting conditions, very hard by just using text to image. And this kind of stuff is really important for, say, narrating a book or telling a story or potentially even animating video in the future. So you might be thinking, how does ControlNet work? Well, let's answer that now. So now let me tell you how it works on the back end, and then we'll go through some examples. So the YouTuber Koiboy uploaded this video titled, okay, what is ControlNet? Where he gives this amazing explanation of how ControlNet is actually a duplicate of Stable Diffusion, but they've taken out the second half of the encoders. Now, encoders are kind of like data compressors. They start with a full image, they compress it down, and then they actually bring it back up. That's the process of diffusion. And ControlNet is the first half of that, meaning that it takes your extra information and it compresses it down to a center point. And then there's a special mathematical matrix multiplication that happens right there, but it actually adds in your data to the original data, and boom, you get a combination of the two. So in practical terms, that means you can send in a character figure image along with your text description, and it will apply that but keep this shape. An awesome use of the AI tool called ControlNet was illustrated by Hamat G in this blog post titled Famous Logos Processed with ControlNet. And they point out using ControlNet how awesome it is that you can actually get the eyes lined up in the Starbucks logo even when it becomes photorealistic. How it can add that sense of depth to a Red Bull logo but keep all the important things how they should be. It's crazy you can add fur, face, paws, teeth to the Puma logo. Surprising me, I like the Burger King logo. It did like an awesome job making real looking food art. Like look at the onion down here where that little light reflection goes, or the depth of these little French fry apple slice looking things. Now, I feel like the Twitter photo still needs some work, but it is a bluebird. Dude, the Taco Bell thing looks sick too. It looks like a bronze photograph, like some kind of sculpture that they took a photo of. All right, but enough of gawking over big logos. I'm sure you have your own logo, as do I, so why don't I just show you how to do it with an example. Here's what you gotta do if you wanna start with a logo that you already have and use artificial intelligence to turn it into something like this. You sign up, you log in, and you set up a payment profile. So then find ControlNet 1.1 or whatever's the newest. So to move it under your own account, you have to click this duplicate button, then give it a few minutes to copy over, and then come back to your profile. You'll see it under your spaces, then go ahead and click on your own instance. So then click onto line art, and under this tab, you just add your transparent image. So I've got Be Curious right here, and we'll just start with something traditional like a cyberpunk robot in space. Whoa, sick. How about as a wax seal on an old world letter? Okay, I'm digging it. Etched into wood? All right, that's cool. As the cover of a book. Could that be a cover? I don't know, it's pretty cool. Cool colors though. But you can see its power. Here's how you can use Hugging Face to make a QR code through artificial intelligence text to image in a way that looks awesome and still works. So once you're logged into Hugging Face, search for this model. Then you can try just using this, or to run it under your own profile so it goes faster, hit duplicate. After a few minutes, it will show up under your profile. Just open it up. So it makes the QR code for you. Just put the URL that you want encoded in here. So I'll take our Curious Future YouTube channel, drop it in, and then throw in the prompt that you want. Yellow, black, robot, metal, futuristic, cyberpunk. Whoa, that looks cool. Yeah, I like it. It looks like Transformers movie, a couple bumblebees hanging out. So now let's talk about the three major models and put them in a head-to-head competition.
Man, you're so competitive. Look at you. You're getting defensive when I get one. You're getting defensive.
You're trying to get in my head, and I'm not going to let it happen.
Oh my God.
Mohammed Usman made it to the top of Hacker News today with this article. It's called Comparing Adobe Firefly, Dalle, and Midjourney. This is the first prompt generated by Firefly. Second one, Dalle 2. Personally, I don't like it as much. I just think this looks just more elegant and cool. But honestly, it's a little stylized, but I like Midjourney the most. Fairy Tale Treehouse Village, prompt number 2. Okay, I like Firefly. Yeah, I don't like Dalle 2 as much again. I mean, it's got its own style, which is cool, but not my favorite. And look at Midjourney. It looks like it belongs in the Tolkien world or something. Prompt number 3, he went with the haunted house. Okay, Firefly again, looking good. Oh my gosh, Dalle, what is this? Drop the ball. There's Midjourney again, killing it. Favorite 3 in a row. Spoiler alert, Midjourney's the best. That's what we use for B-roll on this channel. Next, let's talk about something I found on Twitter that was ingenious. It was a way to bypass all of this ControlNet stuff for certain use cases. Okay, so this little ingenious prompt was so simple it almost made me mad. I've never seen it or thought about it before. Basically, if you are just using any of the big 3 models and you want characters to look the same, just ask for a character sheet. Thank Artichoke AI, not me, but here's a bunch of examples. This is cool because even if it makes some decisions that are out of your control about the style, the characters will look the same, so you'll have multiple images. Using these 3, you could generate different environments, and this character could go through some kind of story arc. So next time you're doing a text-to-image prompt, experiment with these words if you want to get a character sheet. For example, a character sheet with several poses of one cartoon character works surprisingly well. And it's not just cartoon characters either. Look, full people. That would be great for just like populating a landing page or something. See, before I thought you needed like this long paragraph that describes like the hair color and the eyes and everything just exactly, and then you just keep trying, which kind of works, but it always has imperfections. They don't always look like the exact style, the same character. Now let's switch gears to some new research coming out of Meta. So there's some new research coming out of Meta's Facebook division, the one that Yann LeCun runs, that you have to know about. So check out this YouTube channel called CS Board. They uploaded a video called I-JEPA from Meta AI Paper Summary, and it breaks down how Yann LeCun came up with this interesting idea to hide and feed different parts of images to a system so that it can start to figure out what's not there. And this video had 2 big aha moments for me because first off, that back and forth training was fascinating, by which I mean taking a full photo, cropping out a piece of it, feeding that to the machine and saying predict what the rest of it looks like around it, knowing what the rest looks like so that you have an error signal that you can try to minimize over time, which is like outpainting. But here's where the second aha moment really got me. Well, this model doesn't look just for images, it actually looks for the concepts. For example, in the big square, it recognizes that there's a cat, so this is a concept of cat that it's referencing. And it also has the concept of ears and nose, paws, so when it goes to predict something, it doesn't just fill in the pixels like a lot of diffusion models would. It actually thinks, what do cats have and where would they be positioned outside of this frame? Then it takes that, converts it to pixels. And that makes this model more human-like than most. And finally, with keeping all these characters organized, these logos organized, there's a new thing called StyleDrop that Google launched internally that does very cool similar stuff. Sebastian Kamph dropped this new video called Google Says That Its New StyleDrop is Better Than Both LoRa and Dreamboot. And in this video, he'll walk you through all of this new model, the research paper, the examples, the whole thing. And it's just super cool. So like what we're looking at now is just one input image here on the left, and then you ask about all these prompts and they all share that style. That's really cool because for something like this, now you can stylize the icons on a web page or an app. How many times have you looked for icon packs and you're like, dude, I need like this little thing or something, and they're like, we don't have that icon. The future is just style drop me one, you know? He shows an example of this cool 3D watermelon where all the objects have that same 3D look, and this is not 3D model. It even works with letters. They'll probably be able to create fonts using this. Look at that, just perfect stencils, love it. And one of the most interesting things is this is actually a transformer model, not a diffusion model. So if you've been following the AI space, you'll know that almost everything text to image is diffusion, but that's not what's happening here. This is back to transformers, like GPT style. And Google found that there's just something more magical about the way that it can understand a style and apply it. To describe a style is almost impossible. Like you can kind of describe the colors, it's pastel, it's sort of soft, but it's never quite right. There's something amazing about what transformers can learn in those patterns and then put into those icons. Smash that subscribe button!